this is going to be my review video about the Mortal Instruments City of Bones movie. Yeah, this is long overdue. I saw the movie on the 21st, which was last Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I know, why didn't I wait for a later time? I couldn't wait. I was very excited to see this. Yeah, so this is just going to be my reaction and my comments on the movie. If you don't want to be spoiled and you haven't seen it yet, then turn it off right now, because I'm going to probably do a lot of really big spoilers because I have a lot of points to make. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go away now. And so I went into this movie with high expectations, as I'm sure most of you did. I did have a lot of issues with the changes that they made and the things they left out, and just with a lot of it. So yeah, so if you don't want to hear any negative comments or just anything that I didn't like, I would say turn this video off now, just so my opinion doesn't affect your opinion, because I'm going to jump right into the issues I had with it. So, first issue, the portal. What the hell? It's in the Institute. The Institute was built around it because it's a natural phenomenon. No, it's not natural. In the Infernal Devices, Henry created the portal. No. Since when can you pull out pieces of it? And why does it explode into a freaking snowstorm after it's frozen with a steel, whatever? Why? The action sequences. Well, first off, I thought they were actually really exciting and pretty well executed, actually, but there was a lot of them, and afterwards there wasn't enough dialogue to kind of just connect and segue into the next scene. So it just felt kind of like bursts of energy and action here, and then kind of dull dialogue there, you know? So it didn't exactly mesh well. They didn't exactly explain the importance of the runes and then the stele. They kind of just threw it out there, which was kind of odd. And to a casual fan or someone just seeing this movie for the first time without reading the books, it didn't really make sense. I mean, Simon did touch on it a little bit, but they didn't really go into full explanation about it, which I thought would have made the story pop more, but they just didn't, and I don't think that was a good idea. The censors. Where was it? I mean, the only thing that we got to alert us to the presence of demons was this metal ash thing that Alec poured on the floor. Where was Raphael? He was the main vampire in the first book, and they cut him out completely in the movie. I don't know what that was about. They did have that one main vampire, but he didn't have any lines, so I guess we're to infer that that was supposed to be Raphael, but no. I'm hoping that they kind of fix that in the second movie, because he's the one who brings Simon to the Institute when he's turning into a vampire. Come on, was the Simon turning into a rat scene? Where was that? That was such a great scene in the book, and I hated that they cut it out of the movie. I mean, the movie, he just gets drugged by the vampires, they kidnap him, they take him to the hotel, and that's where everybody goes to rescue him. No rat. That was such a pivotal scene for Simon, because that is the beginning of his transition into a vampire for the next book. And they cut it out! Magnus. Why did they freaking change his voice? Why? They just, they should have kept Godfrey's accent. And in the books, Cassie very clearly states that Magnus has a little bit of an accent. So why didn't they keep his voice? I've seen interviews with Godfrey Gaio, and he is so charming and well-spoken when he has his natural voice. So just changing his voice into just whatever that was, it took away the sass and the energy and just the general fabulousness of the character. Just no. In the movie, he sounded so flat and boring, and frankly, he sounded white, and he's not white. So that just really, really ruined it for me, and I was so excited to see Magnus on screen. And I really hope when they make the second movie, they work in Godfrey's accent, because I think that would have worked so much better than changing his voice. I don't know why they did that. Why? So those silent brothers, I liked the way they appeared, but when they did the voices, that was so wrong. They were too loud, too amplified, and I think if the voices had been quieter, I think it would have been so much more creepy. But because they just did not fit the appearance, it just did not work as a whole. My god. Some of those lines were so cheeseball, like how at the end of the movie when Jace was like, I had never seen an angel until now. Ugh. That is so corny and stupid, and that's like about on par as when Edward said to Bella, and the lion fell in love with the lamb. No. No. Clary's abilities were never really explained in the movie. She spent the entire time pulling things out of, drawings and then putting them back in, and they never went into explanation about her ability to create runes to do certain things, and I don't know why they didn't go into that, because I think that would have been great, but they didn't, so I'm just like, that's just another thing that drove me nuts. Valentine. Whoa. I love Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, but he was not acting how I thought Valentine should act. I think the reason why Valentine is so terrifying in the books is because he's this elegant man who's so well-spoken and dresses well. And Valentine in the movie was just acting like so over the top, so melodramatic, he acted like a freaking addict. It was nuts, and it was so stupid. It wasn't exactly what I was hoping Valentine in the movie was gonna be. Oh my god, the Midnight Flower scene, it didn't flow naturally. Where was the chemistry? I didn't feel it. And then she trips weirdly, and they kiss, and that Demi Lovato song just swells up and ruins the whole scene. It was too loud and dramatic and too poppy. It wasn't appropriate for the scene. I think if they had gone with something more instrumental, soft, no lyrics, I think that would have packed more of a punch and made the scene better, but the way it turned out was horrible. I absolutely hated it, which sucks because that was one of my favorite scenes in the book. That big fight at the end of the movie, it didn't take place at Renwick's. Why? When I was reading the book and that fight was taking place, I could picture it so clearly in my mind, and it didn't happen in the movie, and I was so pissed about that. I don't know why they couldn't find a freaking field to do this in. They had to do it in the freaking Institute. Hodge opens up the Institute so the demons can just come flying in, but correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not wrong, but the Institute is on hallowed ground, so demons shouldn't be able to enter, and yet they do, and so do the werewolves. So does this mean that in the next movie when Simon becomes a vampire, he can come in too? Because if they say he can't, that just totally contradicts everything in the first. So they kind of changed the ending. Clary and Jace still think that they're related, but they changed it so the audience knows that they were being lied to, which kind of shatters the whole feels of the next two books. I mean, the whole reason that City of Glass was so intense and so emotional was the fact that there was a huge crescendo of epic intensity build up to this truth coming out. And up to that point, we are still assuming that they're brother and sister and they're fighting these feelings, and that's what makes City of Glass so satisfying, because we just always hoped that they weren't really related, and then the movie just kind of threw that away, and I think they really dropped the ball on that. Are we really gonna believe that Clary, who is untrained as a shadow hunter and pretty much untrained in any act of self-defense, is able to overpower Valentine and kick him into the portal? Valentine, who is a trained shadow hunter? Really? And then Clary keeps the freaking Mortal Cup in the card by the end of the movie. That is not how the book ended. Valentine is supposed to freaking have the Mortal Cup, and then he's supposed to go into the second movie looking to get the second mortal instrument. So this just is not how it was supposed to end. I hated that. Okay, I know that it's young adult and generally more teens read and go to see these movies, but come on, they're not morons. And there's a way to make these young adult movies without making it seem like your audience is stupid, because they're not stupid and we don't want to be treated like we're stupid, you know? So just, they got to do something about how it comes across, because it really does come across as if your audience just doesn't know what the hell's going on.